der zentralen Position, muss Schwanzer unter der Vorsicht, dann ist es Fjørtoft, der ist im Strafraum, Tor! Tor! Für die Frankfurter Eintracht, 5:1!
Hi and welcome to the German Fußball podcast, as we have a very special guest with us here today, none other than the Norwegian national team goalkeeper, Ørjan Nyland, also former Bundesliga and Premier League player, current Bundesliga player also, mind you, at RB Leipzig. Ørjan, thank you so much for sitting down with us here today.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
And I'd like to call this feature that the Players' Corner, and we have Ørjan here with us here today, and incidentally, you are from pretty much the same place. You give us your little introduction to how you remember Ørjan the first time you saw him, and also the goalkeeper, the man he is now.
Yeah, first of all, we worked together at the national team. That was great, and I was the 2 seasons as a team manager. But as you're saying, we are from a place. We are 2.5 from Sunnmøre. You are half Sunnmøre as well, and I of course heard about. Of course, I heard about Ørjan's talent when he was growing up, and then he came to my first regional top club, Hødd. But the big moment in the history of Hødd is all the face of Ørjan when Ørjan was 22 years of age, played a cup final, the FA Cup final in Norway against Tromsø. And what I do remember for that game is not only that Hødd won it, but I remember when it was the penalty shootout, I was sitting next to a guy called Olav Thorn, who is one of the richest men in Norway, was a sponsor in the lounge. And he said, "What is going on now?" And mind you, this guy is 90, so I had to explain to him everything. And I said, and I pointed at Ørjan. Ørjan was 22, and I said, "No, it's penalty. They're shooting penalty, but have a look at the Hødd goalkeeper, Ørjan. He is so looking forward to this penalty shootout, and he scared the shit out of the Tromsø players, and he was fantastic. And it was one of the greatest moments in my football life to see Hødd, one of my hometown favorites, winning the FA Cup. They were a second division team against the first division team."
How do you remember that day, Ørjan?
Yeah, that's quite an introduction. So obviously it's one of my fondest memories as a football player, and it was my breakthrough as well, especially me coming up from Hødd, being in the outside of the top 2 leagues in the beginning, and then obviously this was my breakthrough as well in my career. So I started, it was my first title in Norway as well, and after this I got a big move to the best club in Norway at that point, to Molde, which was reigning champions in the league as well. So it sort of kickstarted my whole career. So and especially being able to win one of the biggest trophies in Norway with my friends, with the people that are not only just teammates but good friends even now after this beautiful day and night. It's a very good time to look back to, and one of my best memories for sure.
Yeah, you can't ask for much more than that. You said that you also eventually went to Molde, where you also did very, very well, and you eventually earned yourself a move to Ingolstadt, who were in the Bundesliga at the time, also coached the first season under Ralph Hasenhüttl as well. How was that move for you, going from the Norwegian league to then the Bundesliga?
Yeah, it's like after my first title, after my breakthrough, I had 2.5 seasons at the top tier in Norway, and I was winning the league and the cup there with my teammates. So I kind of had good success quite early in my playing career. So it was about time for me to explore the next level. And when Ingolstadt they already got promoted to the Bundesliga, and we had contact with them during the summer, and it felt like a correct move and a right move in the way of climbing the ladder for me, and it was exciting as well because it was a young club, hadn't been around for a long time, and it's obviously always been one of my dreams to play at the top tier, and to then be able to play in the Bundesliga. So early after I kind of broke through, it was a step that I just had to take, and I had 3 beautiful years there as well. So it was a good time.
I think that just saying that the move, then sometimes people underestimate when do you feel it's the time to take the next step. And I think Ørjan describes it very good now, because I recognize his moves, because first of all, like we said, we come from the same region, but then you went to Hødd, then you just feel that is the next time to go to the next club, which then is Molde. And then sometimes you just feel it on yourself when it's time to go. And if you're then lucky enough to have a good offer at that time, not always that is the case, because sometimes you can feel, oh, I should move now. When I was at Rapid Vienna, I should have moved after 2 or 3 years, but I had to stay for another season. So that was good. But I was just wondering, because they say Germany is the holy grail of goalkeepers, because there's so many great goalkeepers coming out of there. Did you experience that? Was that a part of the thing that you were learning when you came to Germany at that time?
Yeah, and I think I'm one of the lucky guys as well to be able to get to move as a foreign goalkeeper, because there's not many, or at that time at least, there was not many foreign goalkeepers in the league, because likes of Leno and Trapp and young German goalkeepers like Timo Horn as well, they had played in the Bundesliga for X amount of games, maybe even a couple of hundred already. So and they were like the next generation of the German national team, and so it's an honor and a privilege to be able to become one of them as a foreign goalkeeper, obviously, and then be able to compete with them, and be able to play in that league as well as a foreign player, because it's not easy, especially with the culture that Germans have for developing their own goalkeepers in that way, and also successful goalkeepers, because all of the 3 players I named now, I think Trappy, where he went to PSG, and Leno, he went to Arsenal afterwards and is now at Fulham, and Timo Horner have played, I don't know, 300 games already, and he's even younger than me, so he's had a lot of success as well. So it's a privilege, and and now to be able to be at an even bigger club after that, it's even a bigger privilege as well. So I'm very happy, and I think and I hope that I can look back at my career and to be able to have been in Germany with the culture they have of goalkeepers and developing goalkeepers. It's been a blessing for sure. Yeah.
Ørjan, you recently made your move to RB Leipzig, having been at Ingolstadt, as we discussed. You've also been through various stints in the English Championship, the Premier League. How would you compare yourself as a goalkeeper, as a person now, to when you first made your move to the Bundesliga? Because it is quite the journey, quite the career you've had so far.
Yeah, I think now I've kind of like seen the world. I've been in England. I've experienced a lot during my years. I've been part of 3 promotions or 4. I've had 3 of them in England. So I do know what it takes to play at the highest level. I've been at the highest level in the UK as well. So I've played in the Premier League. So I come back here with a lot more experience, and I'm a mature kind of version of myself. I know what to expect from myself, more my teammates, and I'm more of like a leading goalkeeper, a more vocal, more that takes place and expect people to help me out, and I always try to strive for success as well. So I think like my whole journey up until now have made me more mature and more sure about myself. I don't need anyone to tell myself like you've played a good game or you've done good actions because I can easily pick out the moments myself, and I know what to expect of myself and my teammates. And yeah, so I think more experienced and laid back in kind of personality wise, because I know what the team expects of me, and I know what I have to bring to the team to be successful as well. So it's good to be back in Germany as well. There's obviously a lot of games in the Championship, and in the Premier League you play massively amount of games, and I think like the biggest difference between the two leagues are I think there's more like of a togetherness in Germany. It's more like family friendly. I feel like even though how big the club is, it's more like everybody's more like suited together in like a family friendly environmental place, and in England you're left more alone in that term. So it's really good to be back in Germany. I love it so far. So it's been a great couple of weeks.
Dad, how did you experience that? Can you relate to what Ørjan is saying in terms of the differences there, and if anything else that differs?
Yeah, it's interesting to listen to Ørjan what he's saying about the different cultures, because I think that is very individual how you feel it, and it's also which club you come to. Sometimes RB Leipzig, we should know about RB Leipzig is that in some different environment, a lot of different environment in Germany, they're a bit unpopular because of the Red Bull story, buying up a small club. But I got the same impression as Ørjan is having about RB Leipzig. They have, I'm a big fan of Marco Rose, their coach. I always got I love the way he's management without having him as a coach, of course. But the German culture is a bit underestimated because it's very good organized, and sometimes people criticize that. But I think that every player they feel they are taken care of. Obviously, I know Eintracht Frankfurt most now in my role as an ambassador for the club, but I got a feeling that it's very good organized, and as Ørjan saying, they're taking care of each other. There is a staff that always take care of you. And what is interesting also with Ørjan, I would like to say, because I'm one of these old players that love to see young kids doing well, and especially with Ørjan, because Ørjan, when you are a goalkeeper, there is not many positions. I mean, a striker can always get a chance last 20 and get a goal, or in midfield there are so many alternatives. But in football, as a goalkeeper, it's like Formula One. There is only 20 places available in Formula One, and in a football team there is only one. And that's why I like about Ørjan, because he's been up, he's been down, and now I'm listening. It seems like I'm Frankie Sinatra singing, down on your face, but get yourself back in the race. And Ørjan has always done that. He got over 40 caps for Norway. He's the first team goalkeeper for Norway at the moment. And I must say, Ørjan, I took it very personally when you got the chance now because of the goalkeeper was injured, and you got a chance to be in goal, you winning and getting a clean sheet. That must be so satisfactory for you.
Yeah, it was a great experience to obviously not only make my re-debut in the Bundesliga, but also being on the winning side as well, because we had a busy schedule at that time, and we did some changes to the team as well. And it's easy, obviously, with an injury, and like when you change the team and you change the formation and you play against another Champions League opponent from Germany, it's easy to it can be hard to grab your chance when you have it. But I feel like the whole team, and even Marco Rose said before the game that just make sure that you give Ørjan a good experience out there and take care of him. And it was just like everything was built up to be successful in that moment. And then obviously it's good to deliver with the clean sheet, and the team played well, and we continued our good form. So it was perfect in that case, and also good for me to like grab the chance when you have it, because it's so important. It's like you said, you have one spot to compete for, and mostly that person or goalkeeper, he plays throughout the whole season, because you have a number one, you have a number two, and you have a number three, and then obviously if you want your chance as a number 2, you have to work hard, but you have to be patient and wait for your opportunity. And then when it comes, if it's just that one time, you have to grab it. So it's kind of like it was like all or nothing. Even though I'd just been at the club for a couple of weeks, it was my moment to grab and to seize, and I felt that I did it, and it was good to be able to win it and have a good experience as well. So that was very satisfying. Yeah.
We've obviously ran this podcast since the start of the season, and so followed RB Leipzig from the very start. And there was a reason Marco Rose came in. Results weren't that satisfactory, but now undefeated in the last 14, beating Real Madrid in the knockout stages of the Champions League. It's an entirely different team, it seems. Being now on the inside, we are desperate to know, why do you think you've been able to turn around? What has been some of the key factors?
I think there's always been good players at RB Leipzig, and you can see it like from last year as well, not being there, but just following them from the outside. When you reach the European Cup semi-final, and when you win the domestic cup as well, at home, like mainly it's Bayern Munich that wins that cup, so it's kind of hard to compete for the other teams. But when you have that much success, and then in the end you, like, I think on the final day you're able to get the Champions League spots as well. There's obviously a big quality in the group. So I think for me, being like in the inside now and from the outside before I signed, I think like the potential was always there. And obviously being one of the biggest clubs, it's the other teams, they do take more time in finding out how to stop you. And then when you kind of like go into a bad run, it's sometimes hard to get out of. And then maybe the easiest way is to change the coach. And as I think, like, certainly now, just me being there, I think now we go on the pitch having the feeling that we can beat anyone. Doesn't matter who it is, if it's Freiburg or if it's Real Madrid or Shakhtar Donetsk. I think, like, obviously now with having a good form and a good run, I think like the confidence is just high. I think always the quality have been there, and you can see that from the last year as well. But I think the club just felt they had to make a change, and then obviously Marco came in. He's done exceptionally well, and the team has done very well as well. So we feel like we feel like we can beat everyone. We're not unbeatable, but it's pretty hard to beat us at the moment.
I got two questions as we go in for landing in this podcast, but I got two questions for you. We can start with the first one. Describe, you've had a lot of coaches in your career, you've been around. Describe Marco Rose's strength.
I think, his biggest strength from what I've seen now, we haven't obviously trained a lot because the schedule have been very busy, so it's not been a lot of time to do patterns and stuff like that, because the busy schedule is what it is. But I think he's a motivator. He's a very good character to get the most out of you. I think he's honest. When the training is not good enough, he doesn't mind stepping in, telling you that you have to improve as a unit or as an individual or as a team part, either if it's defensively or offensively, or if it's a couple of players that the connection between them are not good enough. He can step in and take care of it and handle it, and I think he's got the respect in the group to do it as well. So that's probably the standout. And then obviously it's going to be more interesting to see now when we're back after the national team to train in a less busy schedule, to see how the trainings will be then. And then obviously we have the training camp after New Year's, so then I will have a even greater impression. But I think it's been good, and I think it's been fair. So and he's human as well, so he understands people. So that's a good start as well.
Good to hear. That's my impression, seeing also from outside with Marco. The last question from me is that I was a striker. I'm part of the striker union. I was a great studier of goalkeepers, of course, because I've always talked to your goalkeeping coach through the Grodos that I played with. I always said that goalkeepers and strikers should work very closely together because you can learn from each other. And now you're at a club who have some of the best finishers, some of the best match winners. You have Silva, you have Nkunku, you have Jopslai. I have always trouble to say his word. You have Pauls, you have Forsberg, so many of them.
Yeah.
How can you use that in training? A, to learn from them, and B, also get the confidence when you have a good session against an Nkunku, seems to be able to score against every goalkeeper in the world.
Oh yeah, for sure. The quality is massive. It's like I said earlier. It's every player in this club belongs to the highest level, and that's why they're here as well. And now I think, even though Leipzig is a big club, before it's been more of a club like player have gone through as a middle step, but now it's such a big club. So yeah, people like Forsberg and Paulsen, they've been here for a long time, and they can probably be here until their career is finished, and then they've been here for maybe 10 plus years. And then obviously being a part of the Champions League, you attract the best players in the world as well. And then for me, it's a privilege to train with them every day, to be able to test myself on the highest level from international top international players that play on the national team as well. And now I think we have maybe half of the team are participating in this national team break, or even like going to the World Cup. So there's obviously massive amount of quality that I can test myself, and it can be good, and it can be bad at times. Obviously, it can take my confidence as well, because sometimes the exercises are just built for the strikers so that they can gain confidence. But I like it, so it's a good way to test myself, and I can try out different things and have a good dialogue with them, and I can tell them about the weaknesses of other goalkeepers and how they can finish as well, and I can learn from them. And so we have a good conversation that will make each other better, and I think it will just gain me in the end to train and play with these guys.
Before we end, I have actually prepared a few quick fire questions for you.
Yes,
okay?
Go for it.
I have 5 here.
Okay.
And I just want to hear like immediately what hits you. So it's just the best. So best something, okay?
Okay. Yeah.
So best stadium.
I would say Villa Park, but
Villa Park.
I think Villa Park. Yeah.
Dad, you played there, Dad?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I've just been there when Aston Villa played Manchester City, and it's a great atmosphere and passionate fans. So I understand why Ørjan is saying that. Helps to play with them as he did.
Yes.
I must say, like in Germany as well, I really love the fan culture. It's like it's family friendly, but I think like every stadium we go to as well, there's good atmosphere. But obviously, having played at Villa Park and having experienced moments like beating Leicester in a 2-game semi-final with a pitch invasion as well, it's just it's high up there, I must say.
Hard to beat. Best opposition player.
I've not played against Erling Braut Haaland yet, but I think it will be Kevin De Bruyne up until now. He's been very difficult and hard to handle.
Not a bad alternative. Best football memory, and I suspect what it might be. I don't know.
Yeah, I obviously have the breakthrough with Hødd, which is very high up there, and then I've been able to repeat that 2 times more and winning the league. But I think that will be maybe the highest one. And then I obviously have the moments that I shared earlier with the 2-game win over Leicester with the pitch invasion, and being able to play the final at Wembley against Manchester City as well. It's a quite big one, even though we lost it. So that might have topped it all if we would have ended up winning it. But we barely lost it 2-1 to one of the best teams in the world. So can't complain really.
I just a comment on that game. I was at Wembley. I interviewed Ørjan. It's always funny when you are at football games, because especially at Wembley, they're so big. There are people hanging around the dressing room, and I'm saying hanging around the dressing room because not a lot of people can do that. So Manchester City will have at Wembley, they will have Gallagher, Noel Gallagher, he will hang around there. PSG, they will have Sarkozy, they will have all kinds of things. You know what hang around by Aston Villa was Prince William. So Prince William is just hanging around in the dressing room, who is then, as we know, maybe Ørjan, was he in the dressing room? Did he come into you guys? Because he's a Villa supporter, huh?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he came into us and wished us good luck before the game. So he's a massive fan, and he's always around there for the big games, and he's followed Villa passionately for several years. So yeah, that's a fun memory as well.
Amazing. Best coach?
Oh, that's a tough one for Ørjan.
Yeah, I think, like, I would say Solskjær, because he signed me to Norway, or to his club in Norway at that time, the foreign champions. And I think the year that I developed the most after my breakthrough was under him. And I just liked the way that he led the dressing room, how he knew how to talk to and how to react to every player. So he's like, he knows his players and humans very, very well, and he knows how to push the players and how to motivate the players, and who needs a backing or who needs a kick in the butt. So I think he's the standout for me, and I've had a close relationship to him. Even after that as well. So he's been massively important for my career as well. So I would say him. Yeah.
And last but not least, best player you've played with?
At the moment, it's not hard to say. I think we have one of the best strikers in the world in my national team. So he's high up there. I think he's probably the best one at the moment, I would say. And then I played with Jack Grealish at Villa as well when he was carrying most of the team and most of the results on his shoulders as a captain as well. So he's been a standout also. But now as well, I play with the world-class players in every position here at Leipzig as well. So it's a hard one, but I think at the moment it's not. I think Erling would be the best player. I'd say. Yeah.
I don't think anyone would blame you for that answer. So.
No, but if I may, Markus, because I've known him longer than you, so I can say the last words for him. First of all, thank you, Ørjan, for being a part of our podcast. Much appreciated. And as you know, we are follow your career since you was a little kid, and we wish you all the best. And we hope that the best memory will be for the national team. Hopefully, you can get the qualification and that you can get more chances in the Bundesliga to prove yourself. I mean, I always had a definition of goalkeepers when I was a team manager, and now when I work in TV. You have to look like a goalkeeper. I always say that. I mean, that shouldn't be underestimated. And you look like a goalkeeper. I think that is not to describe a goalkeeper, but that you have to have. And you have that, and you're one of the good guys, and you've been down and you came back again. That just shows also the mental strength that you're having. And I can hear you talking now. I remember when, not that you were, but you were more impatient. I remember I visited you in Ingolstadt. You wanted everything tomorrow, which is fair enough. That is the youth, and so I listen to you now, and I also see an interview. So I go, no, you have the maturity. I think you're 32, so you can have 8 more years on the top level. So I think that is a good basic for the rest of your career. So Vielen Dank.
Yeah, thank you very much. It was a pleasure. So great to be here and to talk football, and I enjoyed it. So not a problem at all. It was a pleasure.
Thanks for watching, and please subscribe. And if you have any comments, any issues, themes that you want us to discuss, give us a comment and we always reply to that. And if you know something that we don't know, which you probably do, just give us a shout.